Hello, hello, Mr. Shine here, back once again for part 2 of my arena quiz series with the Priest Draft. So last time I tried doing something a little different, which was grade each series of picks in an arena draft, and at the end award points to viewers based on how closely their picks matched to mine. The video was pretty successful and I got a lot of great feedback, although there were a lot of people that also felt strongly that their picks were better than mine, and that's fine with me because I certainly am not a final authority on all things Hearthstone. And while I did disagree with some of the reasons behind picks, I did think it inspired a lot of productive discussion, so thank you to everyone who watched the video and commented on it. But I left everyone hanging, which leads me to today, the resolution of the deck and how it fared. For starters, I thought that the deck would end up going 8-3. That ended up being wrong. Only 4-3 for this poor deck, which was disappointing to me. However, fear not, because even in defeat, we can always learn something in Hearthstone, and in this video I plan to analyze my final game and try to look at the plays I made and determine if I could have done anything better. First, let's look at the mulligan. Nothing too special here. Typically you want to ensure at least one 2-drop in your starting hand, so the Loot Hoarder was fine to keep. The remainder was too late game oriented, and Massive Spell is not really what I'd call an ideal 4-drop, so we have to send the rest back. What we end up getting is a pretty good starting curve, 2 2s and a 3-drop. I felt like it was worth me getting the early game jump on the Paladin, so I figured that coining turn 1 would be perfectly reasonable here. Because I didn't want to bounce my own Loot Hoarder back to my hand, it was worth playing the Brewmaster first. This has the added benefit of beating a turn 2 dude summon by my opponent Paladin, whereas the Loot Hoarder would have gotten killed. My turn 2 play was a bit of a gamble, since I opened myself up to both Argent Protector and Shattered Sun Cleric by ignoring the trade. In retrospect, this was probably a poor decision on my part because that sort of thing could have set me way back on tempo. If the following turn would have been a Paladin's turn 4 instead of the turn 3, it would have definitely been wrong, because there would have also been a good chance Consecration or True Silver Champion would have been played. Fortunately for me, I dodged a bullet and got an extra 3 damage on the Paladin's face. I also know at this point that he doesn't have an Argent Protector or Shattered Sun Cleric in his hand. My turn 3 play feels pretty good, since theoretically he cannot get through my taunt. Of course, we now hit the Paladin's turn 4, where he could have a plethora of strong cards to shift the game. As we end up seeing, he does. For turn 4 I don't have any perfect solutions, but I do have a few options. Option 1, I could use my Defender of Argus for minimal value. Option 2, I could use Shadow Word Pain to kill the 2/1 Farseer and heal myself with my hero ability, clearing his minion but giving up the board. I went with option 3, which was Earthen Ring Farseer, which gives me value for the heal, plus requires the True Silver to clear it since his Farseer would be unable to kill it alone. Even though things go from bad to worse in the following turn, I stand by that this was the best play for the situation. Turn 5. This was a pivotal turn, and one where things got bad. While I was able to dodge the True Silver clear, the Thrallmar Farseer becomes enemy number 1 with a Blessing of Wisdom, and must be stopped at all costs. I had 2 primary options on this turn: use the Kodo and hope to kill the Alpha, which would set up my Earthen Ring to kill the Thrallmar and live. It was a 50-50 chance, otherwise I would be forced to trade the Farseer off. The other alternative would have been to use Shadow Word Pain to kill the Thrallmar and play the Harvest Golem. I also could then allow my Farseer to trade with the Direwolf Alpha if that happened. I ended up rolling the dice with the Kodo because I felt like the Kodo would have been better board presence than the Harvest Golem, and it was a good time to play the Kodo since it used all of my 5 mana. In the end I did lose the coin flip, which was pivotal in this game, but I still think it was slightly better. Of course, little did I know that not killing that Alpha would come back to haunt me later. Turn 6. This turn was so painful for me. I had a Shadow Word Pain that would be great against that Fen Creeper, if only it wasn't buffed to 4 attack. All I could do here was bide my time and play a larger threat. I did end up deciding to play my Power Word Shield because I had the extra mana this turn, and it would keep the Kodo out of the Alpha's range. Turn 7. Another crucial point in the game. I had 2 clear alternatives: Gadgetzan Auctioneer and kill the Fen Creeper with the Shadow Word Pain, drawing me a card, or bring out more minions while setting up a mini taunt wall in the meantime. I opted for the latter because I felt like he had something up his sleeve brewing back the alpha, but I wonder now if it wasn't better to bring the Gadgetzan out, if not at least for the threat of a card draw machine if he doesn't go for it. Turn 8. The Paladin being able to kill my taunted tiger for free was very painful at this point in the game, and it was all I could do from here just to get more minions out. I opted to heal, overdrawing the card with the Gnomish Inventor because I mentioned before I felt like the Paladin had some sort of burst in his hand, and effectively the Raptor provided about the same amount of board presence as the Gnomish Inventor would have. Turn 9. More bad news. Crippling my 5/5 light spawn with his silence, and between that and the Blessing of Kings, we've reached the end of the line. His 4-attack minion army blew up my ability to remove with the Shadow Word Pains that I had in my hand, and I simply didn't have any way to prevent lethal that turn. It all comes back to the Direwolf Alpha not being killed by the Kodo on my turn 5. Curse you, Direwolf Alpha! At least there's a silver lining to any loss, and that's opening a pack! Crab meat. Well, there you go. This priest run comes to a premature end at 4 wins. But all is not lost. I can always return to exact revenge another day. That's it for now. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe for more of my gaming content. I've been Mr. Shine, and I'll see you next time.